Latina women are hands down the best. Okay. They are in the S tier of women. No other types of women can compare to Latinas. And if you're watching my videos, you're like, damn, I kind of want to get out there. I'm kind of ready to like pull the trigger and, explore Latin America and, get the type of girls that you're seeing on the screen, get the type of girls that I'm getting. And this video will inspire you to like pull the trigger and actually get out there. Just choose the right dating market. I won't go off on a tangent because I've talked about this. There's certain cities in Latin America that are as bad, if not worse, than dating in America. So choose wisely. I have other videos on that topic. That is not the topic for today. Today's topic is why Latinas are so great. So first, let's start with appearance, okay? There are Latinas that are as white as me or as dark as my t-shirt, and most of them come like some color in between, olive skin, light brown, dark brown. But again, you can find Afro Latinas, or like I said, blue-eyed, blonde Latinas. There's something for everything. The second thing is their genetics in terms of fat storage. So let's try to find, if we can, editor, put a picture of a girl that's skinny fat. What skinny fat means is like, skinny arms, skinny legs, and then like a big old gut, like a big old belly. There could, in theory, be an Irish chick or a British chick with the exact same amount of body fat as a Latina, but rather than her genetics putting all the body fat on her thighs and her butt and her boobs, all the fat just wants to go to the stomach. And it sucks because like this girl may be like, look, like that chick has more body fat. Like she's fatter than me, but Latinas were blessed by God or genetics or whatever you believe in to have like preferential fat storage in the right places.
Hey guys, back to the video in just a few seconds, but first, I had to share these amazing results that I've been having on dating apps using 100% fake AI-generated photos. Every single girl that you're seeing on screen right now, I matched with on Bumble using, yes, fake AI photos, and here are the photos on the screen right now that I used. And before you rush to the comments and want to say something dumb like, oh, I could kind of tell that they were fake, I know that you can't tell that they're fake because I'm lying to you. I'm showing you a mixture of both real photos and AI photos, and I bet you can't tell the difference of which is which. And I've done well on the dating apps even before with real photos, but ever since I put AI photos on there into the mix, the results have been absolutely insane, as you were seeing. And not only can I now be super lazy, I don't have to do photo shoots anymore in real life, but I can now get access to backdrops I never could before, such as being on a private jet or some insane looking baller Airbnb. And no, I know what you're thinking. Both the dating app platforms and Instagram cannot tell that these are AI and they will not get you banned. So if you want some of these for yourself, just check out the link in the video description. It's also in the first pinned comment. It's the same link, and we will get back to the regular video now.
The next thing is femininity. Because Spanish is a language that has a distinction between masculine and feminine, I think this gets women thinking about the whole masculine feminine thing. And they kind of go, like, because when they're like 3, 4, 5 years old and they're just learning language, they're probably like, so what is this masculine and feminine thing? Why are some words, why is it like, la mesa or el computador? Like, why are some words, feminized and some words masculinized and stuff like that? And it gets them thinking about this at a young age. And I think that sets them down a path. It's also just culture aside from but I do think there's like something in the brain because you think and you perceive through like the software, through the language that's written in your brain. If you guys ever become like bilingual or trilingual like I am, you'll notice your personality is a bit different. And, you could be maybe more depressed or prone to anxiety or more shy in one language, but when your brain switches to another language, you literally access, it's kind of trippy, right? You literally access like a different part of a different personality. And I think just by having that delineated from a young age, they kind of like set them on the path to be feminine. Speaking of feminine, I guess this is related to femininity, but somewhat its own thing, is warmth. Spanish people are warm when they give you, like Spanish culture, not yes, the country of Spain, but not like just the country, like Spanish culture, meaning Guatemala and Mexico, like anywhere where they have, Spanish culture. They give you a big kiss on the cheeks, and some cultures it's like the double kiss. I know they do that in Brazil. In Colombia, it's just the one kiss, I believe. It's been several years since I lived in Colombia. But in Brazil, they give you the two kiss. Some countries, it's the one. But the point is, like, when you meet a new girl, even sometimes it's like your buddy's girlfriend or something like that, or just, I don't know, like even then in some cases you like give them a kiss on the cheek. Kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about my friends, kissing my girlfriend on the cheek, but that's just considered normal there. Some it's like an air kiss. Some you like hug and you kind of just like air kiss next to their face. I wouldn't really like, be trying to kiss my buddy's girl. But point being, it's just the warmth, the femininity, the touching. Fun fact, the book Edward Scissorhands was written by a British guy, and he had that traditional British upbringing where like there was no touching. People wouldn't say I love you a lot in the household. There's no like, give you a big hug and, this and that. Not a lot of cariño or physical affection. Like they even have a word, like in English, we say physical affection. The word like to caress or have physical affection actually has a name in Spanish. It's cariño. And the same, it's Portuguese, it's cariño. It's, I think, yeah, whatever. Pronounced basically the same. So when this guy, Edward Scissorhands, this British guy who had a cold upbringing, he would go over to his Spanish neighbor's house for dinner. So he's British, but his neighbors in Great Britain were from Spanish descent, and they would invite him over. He'd see how they would interact. They would always be touching, big hug, kiss on the cheek when they greet you. And he felt like he had, as if he had like scissors for hands because he was scared to touch people. So this warmth of the Latina culture, this of the Latin culture, the femininity, all that stuff, kind of goes into their vibe. This leads to a lot of passion in their culture. Latinos are just some of the most passionate. Now, be careful. That passion could go to the positive side where they're just loving and, you walk in the door, they want to, open a beer for you, give you a massage, tell them about your day, listen to all your problems, tell you it's going to be okay. Not that you should be like, complaining, but you know what I mean? Like if you had a stressful day, they'll be there for you, just like, completely subservient to the man. But then if you make them jealous, if they catch you commenting a heart emoji on another girl's Instagram or something like that, Latinas can be the most loving and Latinas can be the most toxic. So beware. It's kind of just dependent on the individual person, how mentally unstable and how much, mental disorder they have, and quite frankly, how you treat them. So treat your Latina well and pray for the best, and they'll probably just give you the world. But if you piss off a Latina, look out. But again, you can't, like I'd rather have a Latina that can go from like one side to the other than like a white girl who's like never going to be that toxic or that crazy, but she's also never going to be like that loving either. Okay. The next thing about Latinas is, and this really depends on the country. It really depends on the city and how different you look from the locals in that city, and so many things I don't want to get off on tangents about. But for the most part, as per their culture and the way they meet, they do a lot of meeting like through friends. That's like the preferred way in Latin America, as people date like by meeting through friends. Because of this, they are a lot more prone to connection and charisma and dating a good guy that like makes sense and would, treat them well and like, that the family would get along with, rather than being attracted to these very superficial things like status and money. Okay. White girls and black girls in America are the worst at this. Black girls and white girls are horribly known in the United States for just like, how tall is he? How hot is he? How much money does he make? What is his status? What can he do for me? What material gain do I have like by dating him? And look, Latinas love a tall, sexy, good-looking guy too. Latinas love a successful guy with money too. But I'm just saying they are more prone to overlook some of this superficial stuff and just be with a guy because they like the guy. There are, in this country I'm in, which I won't name it, and look, if you guys are getting like, why doesn't he ever name the countries he's in anymore? It's to avoid cancellations. I won't go down this rabbit hole. It's just safer. It's just better for me if I don't have angry feminists who find my videos and try to cancel me for my content. It's just better for my safety. If you pay me money, I'll tell you all the best cities I've been to, all the places to avoid. I'll tell you, where I'm at currently. We can hang out and stuff like that, but I got to keep something secret. But in this city I'm in, there is some sugar dating, but you do see like situations where you're like, okay, 10 out of 10, young 19-year-old girl with a 55-year-old fat, disgusting guy who clearly has no swagger and charisma. He even walks like, oh, like not that he's like hunched over because age. He's not like hunched over because like he has a bad back, but he's just like, oh, like very like poor body language and stuff like that. And okay, that's like a sugar day situation. But then you see other times like a girl with like a fat guy who's not good looking. The age difference isn't that big. He doesn't necessarily look like he's got a lot of money. It could be a sugar daddy thing. But I bet you at least half the time it's not. Like you just see girls that would hurt. Like you ever seen a girl that's like so beautiful it ruined your day? Maybe like you saw her for just a second and you were like gonna approach her, but then she like got on the bus, or she met up with her boyfriend, or for some reason you couldn't talk to her, or maybe you just chickened out and you're beating yourself up over it. But either way, you just saw a girl so beautiful, like it ruined your day for some reason. You see these types of girls with just fat schmucks, to be quite frank. And Latinas are the most likely. Actually, no, I take that back. Filipinas, we'll do a whole video about Filipinas in the future. Filipinas and Asian chicks, for the most part, like actual Asian chicks, not like Asian chicks in San Francisco or something like that, but like real Asian chicks in, you know, in my experience, I've only been to like Thailand and the Philippines. Especially in the Philippines, they're more prone to like, you know, just date like a fat older white guy. I think they like black foreigners too, right? Because, you know, almost any foreigner is going to be taller than the average height of the average Filipino man, which is like 5'4". It's going to have more resources. Some might say would have a more alpha and masculine personality. I wouldn't say that. I would never make a judgment about the personalities of people. I don't want to get canceled in the Philippines. I didn't say that, but some other people might consider that. So that's another big thing. And then the last thing about Latinas is the sex drive. Latinas have a high sex drive. They like when the man is dominant. They like being spanked. They're kinky. Not all of them. And let's just say for obvious reasons, respect Latina women, don't do pay for play, don't do sexual tourism, only spank her and dominate her and choke her and pull her hair if she's into that type of thing, whatever. Please don't attack me, Matrix. The things, quick tangent, the things that you can say on YouTube that you canceled would like blow your mind. But yes, Latinas, for the most part, they like to do cardio with their partner. They're very active in the bedroom and they're just fun. They're kinky, they're feminine, they're bubbly, they're happy. They tend to be more present in the moment. And that is why Latina women are S tier. If you want to come to Latin America and you're wondering like, well, damn, you know, this guy says some cities are shit, some cities are better. He talks about, you know, in other videos, I didn't mention it here, about putting together a really high status social media profile and using an online dating virtual assistant to literally meet girls, match with them, in some cases even chat with them, you know, do 80% of the conversation, get the whole boring getting to know you process out of the way so you can just kind of like slide in there once she's ready for a date. My contact information is in the description of this video. Otherwise, just subscribe for more free game and entertaining rants. Peace out.